friends. Thank you for joining us. Today we have Alex Burgos, one of our good friends. What's up, Alex?
What's up?
And we got Fritz, we got Irvin. So Alex, I just wanted to talk to you about like what have you been up to? Like what's new?
I've been working after high school. Literally dropped out of college too.
Where'd you go to college?
Went to Bunker Hill.
You went to Bunker? Okay.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, Bunker Hill. Not that I couldn't get into other schools, just because I didn't want to waste any other money, not knowing what I wanted to do.
That's
so getting a taste of college at least gave me an idea. Okay, do I want to do this later on or just bust it out right now? You know. So obviously I dropped out. So I'm like, all right, I'm not ready for it yet. I made up my mind yet.
Yeah.
So
there's no deadline. Like, nah, that's
yeah, there isn't.
I respect that a lot. I'd rather you do that than waste 4 years like gearing up mad debt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you basically went to school for free, essentially, right? Because I know like Bunker was like $5, and pretty much the program covers everything. Right?
I mean, I paid out of my own pocket because I did mostly part time. Yeah, I did part time. Part time, pay out of your own pocket.
Damn.
Nothing.
I mean, it's cheaper than picking up like 20 or 40 grand in debt, you know, or.
That's fair.
So, I'm like,
honestly,
all right.
I thought you went to UMass Boston.
Oh, I could have. I was gonna go there. Really? I've been hanging with Irvin every day, dude.
Yeah. Speaking of UMass Boston, like, weren't you like hanging out with Irvin like in his friends group like every weekend or something like that?
Yeah. So a lot of my friends went to UMass Boston. So I'm like, all right, I'll go visit them. So that's that.
Okay. And then Irvin, what's new with you? What have you been up to?
Just I graduated since high school, and then I just went into my first job in banking. Pretty much that's all it is. I'm just gonna work my way up, or possibly look at other opportunities. Basically, whatever can pay me the most at right now, this is what I'm gonna do.
And you like banking, or are you trying to be a rapper too?
Oh my god!
You know what? Whatever pays the bills.
Okay. And Fritz, what have you been up to?
I've been selling some lean on the side. I'm playing.
Bro.
But I'm working, spending some time with my family, my girl, trying to make income. Try to live life, bro. Bring this brand up. Yeah, that's about it. Gotta thank God every day.
As for myself, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Shut up.
We've been in quarantine. Absolutely nothing. No, I'm kidding. I just graduated in May, so I'm doing a little grace period right before I enter law school. I'm gonna do a little gap year and stuff like that, and pick up in September 2021.
All right.
Yeah, just trying to keep it simple. I'm kind of fried, so I need that year off because it was grueling, man. I can't, like the last year of college, I was just running on fumes.
How is law school?
So I'm not in law school yet, but law school basically is just an accelerated law program.
All right.
I've taken law classes, so I kind of know what it's going to be like, but it's basically 3 years of me just studying law, all types of different law, like intellectual property, divorce law, real estate, all types of stuff like that. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's going to be up.
So where do you go? So what do you plan on doing from there once you have your law degree?
Well, I want to be an intellectual property lawyer.
All right.
Intellectual property is like copyright, trademarks, like licensing for music. Because you know how many people have issues with it? They don't own the rights to their music.
Yeah.
Basically, intellectual property lawyer would help you with that.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's going on with you at Whole Foods?
So Whole Foods, you're talking about the protesting, right?
Yeah, like, I'm so lost.
The Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
So literally all started with just some kid put it on a Black Lives Matter face mask, and then the management at the store said, you got to take it off and put on a different mask or we'll just send you home. The kid's like, just send me home. So then somebody brought up how it's kind of countering what Whole Foods says on their website.
Right. Saying
racism has no place here. So if they're going to say that, then at least let the employees show have a manner showing that, they support that ideal, that racism should not be anywhere.
Okay.
So let them wear the Black Lives Matter mask. But then the management itself has been saying, oh, but it's a political thing. you can say it's political if you attack the organization, right? But the actual movement is not political at all. I don't think so.
It's human
personally.
rights.
Right. So now everybody's wearing it. Now everybody's getting kicked out of freaking Whole Foods.
As they should.
And it's because they say store policy. Now, store policy also says you shouldn't be wearing any logo or anything sports related. Some, things that have nothing to do with the company, right? So why are they picking at it now of people just wearing this face mask? Why is it such a big deal now? Why does store policy come in now about it? So these are things that people at where I work are trying to bring up to the highest level of management, and they're trying to tell them, hey, like if you're gonna say this and that, then you guys should back up what you're saying. Especially in the case where if you're saying racism has no place here in Whole Foods, then at least let the employees show it at least,
Right.
or back it up instead of playing the game that you're gonna say, oh, racism has no place here, but then actually when it comes to how you guys look at how each employee represents themselves, you're actually just scared of losing money among other customers that disagree with what those employees are trying to represent or support.
Okay.
That's what it's actually. That's where it kind of gets,
Fuzzy.
That's why they say store policy. They're scared of losing customers of just employees wearing the Black Lives Matter mask. And
so I have a question for you. Do you think they just put that on their website just for show because everybody else is doing it and they don't want to lose money and they want to feel like they're an ally even though they're really not?
I mean, definitely so. It's one of these things where the company itself, they sell food, right? Food should be offered to anybody. It doesn't matter,
Okay.
how they look at how they look at things. So if somebody in this does not respect or is not with the movement, and and they come into Whole Foods and they see that, they're afraid that they'll lose that customer.
Right.
Right. Now we live in a state where, for the most part, people are very much open or liberal about things, right? So it's not really a big deal here, I guess. But in other places, I guess it's a bigger deal.
In
Right.
other, like less liberal states that have Whole Foods.
Yeah, like there's some people there that will counter Black Lives Matter with All Lives Matter, right?
Right.
So they're afraid of losing those customers. I'm assuming.
Okay.
And just putting out racism has no place here at this certain time of what's going on now, what's predicament going on now, right? It's just like, all right, but again, which side are you on? Are
It's
you
whatever
just,
side that makes them doesn't make them lose money.
yeah? So it's like, are you saying you support Black Lives Matters, or you're just saying what you want to say that's enough to get you away with your actual position of where you should pick and choose in the whole situation of things?
So you want to feel like you're not racist while also at the same time not losing any money, basically. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, they're playing the game. They know how to play the game well. I mean, well, what company doesn't? Money. It's money. Money is their.
Exactly. They're still a company at the end of the day, and that's what we have to realize.
Yeah.
Most of these companies do not care about us as people, just our pockets.
So.
Well, I'm just thinking about it real carefully. It's just like you got to think about Jeff Bezos. Bezos has been kind of talking a lot about everything that's going on, and he's the one that owns Whole Foods, right? Because Amazon purchased Whole Foods.
He owns a whole empire. And matter of fact, he brought up the email that the customer sent him. the customer said, oh, some customer sent them some email
It
talking
was like a
about
complaint.
what was that?
Was it like a complaint?
Basically, they said they wouldn't
I
shop
hope,
there because the Black Lives Matter thing, and they were like swearing at him, and it was really vulgar.
I'd have to go back, but he says he supports Black Lives Matter, basically, though, or he's with it, in other words. So it's like, all right, he's with it, but at the store they bring up store policy about wearing this face mask. Now, you can somewhat agree store policy, is there itself, but why now? Why is it such a big deal now?
And I think that's the question everybody wants to know, because I feel like people don't really care until it starts to affect them. So they're like, yeah, Black Lives Matter, and then it shows up in your store, and you're like, ooh, I don't really think it really matters that much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, there are other rumors of other stores where people do wear it, and the management at that store is whatever about it.
Right.
They haven't brought up any attention to it. Neither have they maybe brought it up to their highest level of management. They're just like, all right.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if that's how they're gonna respond to it, since there's so much heat at the store that I work at, or just the management is just different. Maybe management at my store just took things took it in a different way and thought they could quell the whole thing, and didn't work out.
So do you know where this originated? Like, what store was the employee wearing the Black Lives Matter mask?
Oh, I mean, I think it was a store in Seattle.
Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
I think they were one of the first. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back.
Okay.
Then people at our store started doing it. They started wearing it. Then, you got kicked out.
Oh my gosh.
So has your management been hard on you guys for wearing them, or have they been accepting of it?
As in, I mean, there's still they'll like, let's say I wore it, right? They'll literally just tell me, hey, like, you can take it off or put on a different face mask. But if you keep it on, I'll just have to send you home. They've been doing that for the past, I don't know, I think it's almost 2 weeks now, 3 weeks.
Okay. So how did that you guys had a walkout, right? An organized walkout. How did that go?
Basically, the minute everybody organized to put on masks together, it was like an instant. You got kicked out, like boom, like so. So these people that got kicked out, they actually had protesters outside supporting them, waiting for them to and even news showed up too, and they that's what you see on the news now.
Mm-hmm.
There are sketchy things going on right now at the moment, like as of like what could happen to those employees.
And have you tried to act out, or have you just been like keeping cool so you can keep your job?
Oh yeah, I've been keeping my job, man. I'm not. I still got bills to pay. I will support it. I do what I can, but I'm not going to speak of how I support it. I'm just giving myself away, right? But there's ways I do support the whole cause.
Right. And I can't thank you for that, because at the end of the day, you still got to make your money.
Yeah.
What, Irvin?
What was I going to say?
Nah, because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, there's no way in hell that they're actually going to fire these employees, just because that would be such, like, that's PR. That's a PR nightmare, right?
Well, I brought up the fact that, look, I've seen Whole Foods purposely get rid of people when they wanted to. Mm-hmm. So I brought up how, look, they won't get you for this, but they'll find an excuse to get you for something else.
And that's happened to Irvin before.
Right? And I'm like, this is how corporate works. Corporate needs something else to nitpick you on, and then they'll get rid of you.
Yeah.
And it's like, who knows what happens a month from now with these employees?
That's true. Like they could come in like 2 minutes late. Oh, they've been tardy a lot. They gotta go.
They can just roll back points of when you came in late way back then. So it's just like, okay, they're gonna find a way to get back at them.
That's fair. That's fair.
So that's another reason why I don't step in too much into the spotlight of it, because I know what Whole Foods has done in the past. I've seen them literally get rid of people, press people, you know. And I'm just like,
yeah, that's wild. Your boss is about to see this video. You're like, yo, Burgos, I want to see you in the back, please. Oh my gosh.
But with that being said, what do you think about the whole presidential election and Kanye running or attempting to run for president?
Actually, what do you think about Kanye running?
All right, so personally, I don't have a problem with Kanye running. I only have a problem with him waiting to run about 3 months before the election, because then it undermines the whole electoral college and everything. Because if he really wanted to run, then run and win the nomination for either the Democratic Party or he can't win it for the Republican, because that's for the president. But either way, run and win the nomination, and then so you could be the Democratic candidate. But he waits until July to say, oh, I want to run. And what he's only doing is he's just splitting up the votes between the party, because the main objective here for people who actually want to live in a decent country is get Trump out of office, not split up the vote so that Trump can get reelected. You know what I'm saying? And he said problematic stuff in the past, like, oh, slavery was a choice and a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he said some wild shit, yeah.
Exactly. Like, I have my own issues with Kanye, obviously a musical genius, but just because you're a musical genius doesn't mean you should run for political office. But then again, the president we have now has no political history, so I'm like, who am I to say anything?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with actually Kanye West running. He has every right to run.
Right.
Even if his views are kind of wild, he's still a person. He still has his rights. But if you guys want to talk about the stuff he supports, right?
What do you think
he's admitted that he's anti-vax, anti-choice. Now, you can support that as much as you want, but expect to get ripped apart. Expect to get some heat.
Yeah.
And if he can mentally handle it, good for him.
I don't think he can.
Yeah, I don't think he can either. So that says a lot about him if he ran into office. Can he handle this pressure of other people not supporting the things that he says, or just, what's the word? Basically coming at him, or
he'd have Twitter fingers just like Trump. Trump's always on Twitter. Kanye.
Yeah, he's an emotional person.
Yeah.
And that emotional person of him, it shows art when it comes to music, right?
Right.
But when it comes to the political world, I think it could actually hurt him a lot.
And just one thought, just imagine Kim Kardashian as the first lady.
Yo.
Why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do that?
Ray J about to be like an inauguration. Ray J about to be like, I hit it first. Imagine that.
It's gonna be like another like reality TV show.
Exactly, in the White House.
Yeah.
So it's
just like, all right, here we are.
And Fritz, would you vote for Kanye?
Is that even a question?
Yes.
Hell no, bro.
Why not?
He's on crack. He's on crack.
He's black. He's one of the black men in office.
But he's not suitable to just be president, my guy. I'd rather have Biden at this point.
I have my issues with Biden, but I take Biden.
Yeah, Biden has he said some wild shit. How'd you guys feel when he said if you're black and you don't vote for me, you're not black? How'd you feel about that?
I felt disrespected because
it's true.
No, I felt disrespected because even though he might be right, who are you to say that?
Yeah,
not black.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And second of all, I remember he said a speech about, I care about poor people and then white people. And I'm like, so he insinuated that black people were poor, basically. Like, he basically, and I'm like, listen, I don't care what the numbers say. I don't care what statistic you're looking at. You don't make that a general assumption and think we're going to be okay with it. All right, because you're
But
alluding
that's
to unfair.
but that's kind of how they got away with saying, racist things in the media. You just say poor and rich because everything's disadvantaged
Yeah, it's an
towards.
example of how they
You know what I
got
mean?
away with stuff.
But they purposely done that though. It's not by a coincidence that a lot of minority neighborhoods are poor. It's not by coincidence. It's designed, institutionalized to have that, just like the war on drugs. It's all systematic oppression. But would you vote for him, Irvin?
Who?
Trump? Kanye?
Yeah, you got jokes. No. We can't do that.
All right, so hypothetical for everyone. If you have to vote between Kanye and Trump, who would you vote for?
Why you gotta do this to us?
That's a that's a spot. Oh man,
That's a setup. No, I'm picking Trump for the sole fact I can assassinate him in office.
I'm good, bro.
bruh.
I'll vote for myself. Shit.
He's not just saying it on camera.
Yo, you're about to.
Yo, the
No,
government's
it's
back
like-
out right now.
Fucking 2 hours, bro.
I'm gonna end the podcast right now. Yo, no, it's just
You
when
gotta
you think about
apologize.
it. Nah, honestly, I know probably Jay's gonna edit that part out, but
No, I'm keeping it. Sorry, buddy.
no, the only issue I have is just that I can't have Kanye in office for the sole fact that he's not mentally stable, and he's gonna be worse with Trump with Twitter fingers. And I get it; he would bring some light to some things that we've been overlooking,
Right.
but it's not worth the nation. It's not worth the nation.
Like, don't get me wrong. Music in the White House will be booming, but besides that, not so much.
Also, I don't know how you feel about living a lifestyle of like isolation, because when you're the president, you have to isolate yourself from everyone else and just kind of go with what you have to think. You have to remove all the premise of bias around you.
Exactly.
So I don't know how he would actually take it. Honestly, we've seen an example for the last 4 years, and Trump was kind of used to being, talking to businessmen, going to meetings every week, going to golf clubs every weekend, going to talk to his friends, smoking cigars, going out on vacations.
And touching little girls. Don't forget that part.
You're gonna throw away the entire podcast. Yeah, chill out.
No. Speaking back, Virgos, who would you vote for? Trump or Kanye?
I'm still thinking right now, man, because I could say, look, I could vote for Kanye just for the fact that I'm playing it by chance. Maybe he will change things, right? I'm giving somebody else a chance because I already seen how this other guy did it.
Think about immigration reform, especially you being Hispanic yourself, right? I don't think Kanye's gonna have or try to push for people to get deported. So that'll be one reason for me to vote for him. You feel me?
Yeah, I mean, immigration itself is a really deep and big issue.
Yeah, trust me.
And it's also a messy issue too. I got to say that too. Like it's the topic itself is just like, all right, how do you do with it?
Exactly. Kids are locked in cages.
You see, here's the thing. I can't agree with that just for the sole fact I've seen Kanye cite a lot of things that Trump says. So that's why I can't really support him on that topic. Like I can't definitively say that he wouldn't go against immigration.
That's fair. I mean, we don't know for sure. I'm just saying him and he already said he only used Trump basically to get what he wanted, basically played him, but we don't know for sure.
Right. There has to be more evidence for that too.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the more evidence of that. But otherwise, I will be voting for him in November, personally. But yep, thank you guys for having this podcast with me. I enjoyed the riveting conversation. Burgos, I appreciate you talking about the whole food situation, and then Fritz, just for you.
Yo, bro, show up to the protest, man. I'll send you another.
Yeah, I'm not.
Everyone's like, please, I'm not trying to lose my job.
Thank you, Burgos. I can't just call it work. Like, it's just not like, you know what I mean?
Did you show up to the protest?
What was that?
Did you show up to the protest?
But today? There's one today. There's one like every day. Every day.
Wow.
Have you ever showed up to a protest? How about that?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, just check. I'm like, bro, if you work there and you're not even going, why would I go?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, but thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Stay tuned for more content.